React Email is by far my favorite library to create emails with, and today they released their 4.0 update, which includes tons of new components and new tooling. We're going to break these changes down and show how you can start using it right now to create better emails. Let's get to it. Just as a quick refresher before we begin, React Email is a library by Resend, which allows you to create email templates using these specialized React components. So you'll see on the right, we have the email dev server, and it's going to be rendering this email. Looks something like an Apple receipt. It was one of the examples on their website. And on the left, we have the actual React. So we are using a bunch of different components from the library, and they vaguely resemble HTML elements. For instance, we have like an image, we have a preview, we have the body and the head. But you'll notice when we actually look at the generated HTML code, it is raw HTML that is optimized for the consumption in email clients like Gmail and Outlook. For instance, you'll see we have this invisible div right here, and that's actually the preview. And then we have a table, which is actually going to be the container. And much like regular React, you can style it using CSS, but ultimately, once it's rendered, it's going to be converted to email-friendly HTML. With this 4.0 update, React Email is focusing on providing not only a better developer experience, but also making sure that your emails land in your users' inboxes. So the first change they've made to this development server is there's now a linter tab down here. So this linter is going to run through your email and check all links and make sure that they're not only served over HTTPS, but also that they actually exist. So you'll see we have these three links. We have the valid one, which is example.com, as you can see here, but we also have this insecure one served over HTTP and then a completely broken link. Within the linter, you'll see we get the security error for the HTTP link and then a fetch attempt error for the broken link. So that's going to flag it. On top of that, it's going to look at all of the images in your email. So we have two of them right here, and it's going to check if they have accessibility tags. So the alt tag, which this one is missing, and also make sure that that image is under 1 megabyte. So this image is actually 5,000 by 5,000. So it's going to throw that error, and then we're going to get notified at the bottom here too. The next feature React Email has added to their development server is the compatibility tab. So this tab is going to go through and look at your HTML and CSS and make sure that you're not using any styles or tags that are not supported in all the popular email clients like Outlook, Gmail, Apple Mail, etc. So you'll notice that there are actually a ton of errors on this, and some of them are pretty ridiculous. For instance, display flex is not supported in Outlook. On top of that, grid isn't supported in Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo Mail, and even more. So this is going to easily let you make sure your email is compatible across all clients without having to actually test them in each one. So there are some other gotchas like the RGBA function and some animation, but some of the really easy ones like display flex can be immediately caught through this tab. The final feature they've added to the dev server is the spam tab. So this is going to go through and use the popular library Spam Assassin to analyze your email and make sure that it won't get flagged by Gmail or Outlook or Apple Mail spam filters. So here we have a very clean email and we get that 10 out of 10 score, but we're going to swap to this spam email example here and you'll see that we're getting a 4.4 out of 10. So let's examine this email. First, we're using a ton of caps, which is going to be registered right here. So uppercase 5070. Then we have act now. This is a very terrible phrase. Never include this. We have some other stuff going on here, which I'm not going to read out loud. And then we also have hidden text, and that's going to net us a 4.4. So obviously this is a very overt example, but you might be surprised that some of the styling in your email might actually be flagged, and this will easily help you remove that problem. Finally, React Email has provided us with even more pre-built components that we can use for our next email. So here we have two examples of this simple list. You'll see that it works on both desktop and mobile, and it looks pretty good. If we want to use it, we can just go ahead, click on this code option, and then choose either Tailwind or Inline. So we've been using Inline in this tutorial, but if you're using the Tailwind plugin, you can do that as well. We also have this pricing component, and these are definitely my favorite out of all of them. They look very professional. We also have this bento grid for marketing emails. And then finally, we have these ratings 1 through 5 for feedback for your SaaS or your product. So that covers all the major changes in this 4.0 update. If you're already using React Email, I strongly suggest that you upgrade so you can start using this tooling. And if you're not, please drop a comment if you'd like to see a full tutorial. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.